Check it out, the new Renault Megane RS. If you love your hot hatches, you'll know that the Megane RS is a bit of a legend. I'm well aware of this myself. I drive the previous car, the Renault Megane RS 265 Cup, as my personal vehicle. Do a lot of track days and absolutely love the car. The new model represents something quite different. It's got 4 doors, 4-wheel steering, and a generally different approach to its predecessor. Can it live up to the RS legend? There's only one way to find out.
The previous gen Megane RS was something of an acquired taste. Local models featured a manual transmission, limited slip diff and taut track-tuned suspension and 2 doors as standard. It really wasn't a car for families or new drivers. This time around, Renault is going after the Volkswagen Golf GTI's broader approach. The new 5-door model is more practical and it comes with a choice of manual or paddle shift transmissions. Similarly, less compromising sport suspension is standard, while tougher Cup settings are part of a $1,500 package which brings firmer springs, shocks and anti-roll bars, as well as a clever limited slip diff, black wheels and better brakes with red painted Brembo calipers. Priced from $44,990 plus on-road costs in basic form, the new Megane features a good amount of kit as standard, including active cruise control, autonomous emergency braking and a well-appointed interior.
On the inside, Renault has made some important changes to the car. There's a new portrait-style touchscreen that allows you to access various settings within the car, including 5 driver modes with a personal mode that allows you to tailor various elements of its handling. You've got new sports seats. One thing that I'm really appreciative of is a change to a Bose 9-speaker stereo. It's an option on the car that really lets you listen to music in a much better way than the predecessor, which had a frankly rubbish stereo.
Mechanically, the big changes include a new 1.8 litre turbo engine, which uses 7.5 litres per 100 kilometres to make 205 kilowatts of power and 390 newton metres of torque, along with the addition of a new 4-wheel steering system and clever hydraulic bump stops that take the edge off big lumps in the road.
4-wheel steering might be the most controversial change in this car. It's the only hot hatch available with 4-wheel steering, and it's interesting, when you come to a corner and just turn in, you move with your hands and then a moment later you can feel the rear axle do something as well. I'm really divided about whether I like that or not in the car. It's quite interesting. It feels super unnatural. It feels a little bit like lift-off oversteer, but lift-off oversteer in a front-wheel drive hot hatch is something that's quite predictable and it's something that you induce deliberately as a driver most of the time. Whereas in this circumstance, it feels artificial. It's like the computer wants to help you through some of the great sensations you can have from hot hatch. It feels a little bit like cheating. It doesn't feel genuine. Likewise, there's a fake exhaust note in this car that I'm not huge on. I prefer authenticity from a performance car. You put your foot down, yeah, you've got more than 200 kilowatts of power, come up to a corner. Doesn't have an auto blipping system to help you change through the gears, the sort of thing you'll find on a Civic Type R or a Hyundai i30N, absent in the Megane. Now if we flick into a corner, you can get a little bit of attitude from the 4 control system, which is quite fun. Let's try that again here. Flick it in and then, yeah, very neutral. Not a massive amount of oversteer. It's just helping the car rotate through the corner in a quite sensible way. Of course, it doesn't have to be sensible. You can have a proper go. Let's give that a whirl. That's a lot of fun when you can really back this thing into a corner and get the most out of it. I like a performance car that really lets the driver express themselves on a track, and the Megane certainly can do that. I've driven this car a bit now and I'm still not sure of the 4-wheel steering system, but I like that you can back it off a bit and then take a more neutral approach to the car, and then when you come up to a corner you can still move the tail around a little bit and have some fun, but it does it in a very predictable way. It does it in a way that's completely induced by you as the driver. It's not the car helping you steer through the corner, it just does exactly what it's told. Some people will tell you that you need to have rear-wheel drive, like a Toyota 86 or an HSV Commodore to have fun on track. Rubbish. A great front-wheel drive car can be just as engaging, if not more so. That can be a challenge to get right, but when you do, it is just so rewarding, and that certainly is something that the Megane RS offers. That is a lot of fun. You can certainly have some massive skids in this car and have a really good time on track. That to me is part of the Megane RS appeal. That 4-wheel steering system, while it doesn't make you any faster, it does make the car more engaging and more involving on the track. It's probably a matter of personal preference whether you like it or not. As I said, it's a lot of fun. It's a nice toy that you can have. It's a bit of a gimmick that you can press to then just have a bit of a play and do some silly stuff either on the track or just make your road drive a little more engaging. And certainly you don't have to have stability control completely turned off to enjoy 4-wheel steering. This car right now has stability and everything off, so that we'll have a bit of a giggle, but on the road you can certainly feel how it works as well. Interestingly, on the road this car does not have adaptive suspension. It doesn't have a multi-mode system similar to something like a Honda Civic Type R or the i30N. It's got fixed rate dampers and suspension, but with clever hydraulic bump stops that really take the edge off some of the bigger imperfections.
So, does it live up to the legend? Well, yes and no. The new Megane RS is still an outstanding driver's car, one with broader appeal than before. You shouldn't be surprised to see plenty of these on the road. But I can't help but feel that the Megane RS legend has been eroded somewhat by stuff like fake engine sounds, gimmicky four-wheel steering, and a general sense of compromise. This is a great car, but I'm not sure that it's one of the greats.